everyone. Welcome to Proline. I'm John Cranton, filling in for Jim Feist and Dave Koken. Both of them got the flu this week. Thank goodness they didn't bring it to the office. We got plenty of cast and crew filling in for tonight's show. We got March is here, so you got college basketball tournament action. We've got games in the ACC, the Missouri Valley Conference to look at, as well as the Pac-12. We also have offers from our panelists. Joining us is Chip Chirimbes and Jeff Saad of Las Vegas Sports Services. Chip, last Saturday, I know you hit your Big East Game of the Year, part of a 80% run on Saturday and a terrific weekend. What do you have coming up for the customers this weekend?
Well, you know, John, that jump-started us, and we've hit Megabucks 5 straight days since then, and we're on an incredible roll once again. John, a roll of biblical proportions, I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to have my college underdog game of the year on Saturday. Going to throw in 2 high-roller VIP selections with this for only $19. Get on board. This is going to be my 5th game of the year winner in college basketball. It is an underdog, so I'm not going to specify which game it is. 866-899-9462. Call us right now, 866-899-9462. And if you call on Friday, we'll throw in our NBA Parlay of the month with that offer. Great offer, only $19, 866-899-9462. There you have it, John. We are on a roll. And by the way, I think that Jim and Dave, maybe they got sick of winners because those guys have been so hot the last 2 weeks, I can't believe it. I can't believe they're sick of winners, so they must be really ailing.
They're not sick of winners, but they are hot and perspiring from the flu as well as from their hot streaks. You're absolutely right. Speaking of hot streaks, Jeff Saad from Las Vegas Sports Services is joining us. Jeff, I understand you have circled a game on the Saturday calendar that's worthy of Game of the Year status.
Yes, my overall college game of the year. Plus, you're going to get 2 other games, all 3 for $19. And if you sign up Friday, you're going to get my Friday tournament high roller game as a bonus. Again, all this for $19. Call 1-866-575-8918. That's my college game of the year on Saturday, plus 2 more games. Plus, if you sign up Friday, you get a tournament high roller game as a bonus. All 3 plus the Friday, all $19. 1-866-575-8918.
Excellent. And last weekend, Jim Feist, he went 14-4-1 on all of his plays. That includes hockey and basketball. He did lose his college basketball game of the year last Saturday. That was South Alabama, an underdog that was in the game but didn't quite get there. That was part of a 3-game Proline package. He went 2-1 with that package. The other games were the Missouri Valley Conference game of the year with Evansville, which won, and he had his revenge game of the year on Troy. They were a 10-point underdog that won the game, 83-82. He's been sizzling in college. 39-22 run, 20-12 run in the NBA, 10-3 run with NBA Games of the Month, and even hockey, a 30-16 run. So he is hot, as Chip pointed out. For this weekend, on Saturday, Jim has his college basketball conference Game of the Month parlay. You'll get 2 college basketball big Game of the Month plays on Saturday. Plus, it comes with a guarantee. You will go 2-0 with that parlay. We get the rest of March free. And if you sign up on Friday, you'll get Jim's Friday NBA Shocker Game of the Month as a bonus. Each one of those 3 plays are $20 online. You can get all 3 for $20 by calling Friday to 1-866-841-1655. All right, guys, it's March is here. It's definite mayhem for the entire month. If you have a loser early in the day, you got plenty of games later that day to come back. It's just the best time to be in Las Vegas. And we're going to start with this Missouri Valley Conference tournament. I'll start it off. You got Missouri State playing Evansville. This game is on Friday. And in the Missouri Valley Conference, there are 2 teams that are just powerhouse teams. You got Wichita State and Creighton. And then below those 2 guys, you got a logjam for 3rd place. You got 5 teams that are all 9-9 in the conference. 2 of them are meeting here. Number 6, Missouri State against number 3, Evansville. And one of the things that people look at when you're looking at tournament games is who's hot as opposed to the overall stats for the entire season. And you have quite a stark difference between these teams. Number 6 seeded Missouri State comes in. They're playing bad basketball. They've lost their last 4 games. They failed to cover the number in any of them. They were twice favored over Old Dominion and Indiana State, lost both of the teams. Not a great shooting team, although they're decent offensively with 66 points per game. They're not a big team, but they have a better RPI rating despite being a number 6 seed than Evansville has. Missouri State is number 111 in RPI rating, and Evansville is 142. And this Evansville team beat Missouri State twice during the regular season. However, They were really close games. Both games went in overtime. Both went over the total. And Evansville, even though they're a number 3 seed, this team lives with offense. They are a very good three-point shooting team, but they have a couple of weaknesses that I don't like to back teams that can't rebound. They were last in the Missouri Valley Conference with just 29 rebounds per game, and they're last defensively, allowing just over 48% shooting. I know that they are the higher seed here, but I don't like to back teams that can't rebound or play defense, especially in tournament play when so much is at stake. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, both games were close. Missouri State lost both in overtime, and it is double revenge, but it's hard to take a team that's, as you said, lost 4 in a row, and plus they're on an 0-6 current against the spread run. Evansville has won 8 of his last 13. 2 of those losses were in overtime, including a tough loss at Creighton. Each team has talent. Both teams had first-team MVC performers. Forward Kyle Weems from Missouri State, guard forward Colt Ryan from Evansville, plus guard Ned Cox from Evansville was the 6th man of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference. This is probably Evansville's best team in several years, although it's not really saying much. They were down for so many seasons. But it's hard. Evansville still is in much better form here than Missouri State, and it's hard to take a team to win 3 times against the same team in the same season. But I'm still going to lean toward Evansville in this game because they are obviously in much better form here.
Oh, yeah, I'll take a shot with Missouri State. One thing that stands out in the 2 meetings, even though Evansville won both, is the rebounding edge that Missouri State had in one of the games they lost was 50-31. I like rebounding this time of the year. And a couple of trends to keep in mind. Evansville has been better than odds makers have expected all season long at 16-9-1 against the Vegas number. And they've been a great team over the total with that pretty good offense and weak defense, 17-9 over the total. All right, on Saturday, we have just a showdown in the ACC, the sort of a game of the year we've all been expecting. North Carolina is playing at Duke. Both teams took care of business this week, so you got the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament at stake. What you have here is a clash, Chip. You got this Duke team that lives by the three-pointer. They have home court, and then you get this North Carolina team, tremendous rebounding and great offense. Which one of those has the edge?
I think North Carolina is a little bit deeper. I like their talent, but see, growing up being 5'8", 5'9", if you stretch it. Excuse me, Giovanni, I'm a little bit busy right now. I got to go with North Carolina here. I love the Duke guards. Please, Rivers and Curry, these guys are great, and they're all going to the pros. They have 3 guards that they're running out there, but they are young. This Duke team is young. In my gut, I think that North Carolina's the side, particularly after the way they lost the Blue Devils the last time out with that big comeback, and Rivers just taking control and command down the stretch. I mean, Jeff and John, for a freshman to have that kind of composure, to take over the game as if there's no one else on the floor and nothing bothers him because he wants the ball. He's got great maturity, and that'll always give Duke the edge in the close games down the stretch. But I think Carolina's got a little more depth.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Carolina blew that game at Duke the first time, and I think that might have been the best thing that happened to them because since then they've won 6 in a row, 5-1 against the spread. 3 of those were on the road. Before that game, some people were questioning Carolina's toughness or intensity, but that game might have straightened them out. Duke has won 7 in a row. Surprisingly, they've had more close calls at home than they had on the road. They had to go overtime as a 12-point favorite to beat Virginia Tech. Came back from 20 down at home to beat NC State, and they had a relatively easy win at Florida State. Carolina had a look-ahead game the other night against Maryland and cruised to an easy victory, but I don't think you have to worry about their intensity for this game. So in this situation, in a huge revenge game, I'm going to give the slight edge to North Carolina.
Yeah, and one thing that people are going to look at for this game is that so much is at stake with the number 1 seed. I think there's too much made into that. And the reason is you just look back at what happened 1 year ago. Really, it was the same situation. They were both the top 2 teams in the ACC tied in the regular season finale. And what happened? Well, the Tar Heels won that game 81-67, claimed the number 1 seed. And then a week later, what happened? Well, Duke was the one that beat them in the tournament, and it wasn't even close, 75-58. A couple of points about this game, though, is the first meeting between these teams was that thriller. That did go over the total of 155. However, you have to note that the last 7 meetings between these teams, the under is 6-1, and that's common when you have showdown games like this between two rivals is that the defenses show up. Everybody likes the flashy offense and the outside shooting, but these teams can also play defense, and we have seen it when they play in the past. So I wouldn't be surprised if that trend continues where we see much more defense than odds makers expect or the general public. Wouldn't be surprised if it's an under game. Okay, if you have a question for the ProLine panel, you can Twitter it at Jim Feist Sports. You'll be put into a drawing, and if your question is selected, you'll be available to win $100 worth of plays from a handicapper of your choice. And we have a question from J.R. Steubenville of Ohio. He tweeted the conference tournament play. He wants to know how much stock do handicappers put in earlier meetings or revenge situations or just any tournament play betting tips from anybody. Jeff?
Well, there used to be some trends to go with a team that has single revenge, and then it went the other way, double revenge, and over the years it seems to even out. And there are other things. You might want to take a team that's played relatively well on the road during the season, and of course most of these games are at neutral sites, so you don't want to lay too many points. The thing I look for more than anything else is similar to what I look for in college football bowl games. You try to determine which team has more motivation. If one team has to go far in the conference tournament or even win it to get a spot in the NCAA tournament, and they're playing a team that's already locked in, and plus they're getting points, you might want to consider that team that's getting the points because they definitely need the win more than the other team. But other than that, you might want to look at the home court too. Some teams are playing actually on their home court, like UNLV does, and others play near their home court, and that's always an advantage too. But mostly, I look for motivation in the conference tournaments.
Yeah, two things that I look at would be depth and defense. Some of these tournaments are going to be 3 games in 3 nights. Teams that have depth can have an edge later in that tournament against teams that just rely on 5 and 6 guys. And then there's the defense, similar to that North Carolina Duke that we just mentioned. Teams that are good defensively can use that to advance because offense can go hot and cold during a game. That's common, even in the pros. Even with great offensive teams, they can go cold. But defense is something that the coaching staffs can push, and you can rely on and lean on that for the entire game. And I expect to see – I look for unders as the tournament goes along, particularly in the title games. Chip?
You know, John, I like the idea of a team that's beaten one team twice already during the season, and then it comes to these conference playdowns, and the team that's lost twice, it comes up favored. Somehow, that team always seems to get over and get the number. It's something that I look for and toward. Now, you mentioned the Evansville and Missouri State game, and I'd love for the loser, the first 2, to come up favored in that contest, and to me, it's like an automatic play. And particularly, I think, Jeff, you said that they're coming in losing 4 or 5 in a row, and this is their shot. You know, this is their only time. I am a bit of the Antichrist and play against what looks like, you know, an easy side or an obvious side. So that would be something I'd look for, John.
The Antichrist, is that where you get your winners? That I didn't realize.
The Antichrist,
where did it come from?
All right, our last game on the docket is it's a Pacific 10 game, or Pacific 12. It's on Sunday, Arizona State at Arizona. It's a rivalry game and a revenge game. And here's the thing with a game like this. Late in the season, there are really 2 ways to assess certain games like this. One is that you got a bad team that's having a terrible season. In this case, it's Arizona State. They've been awful most of the season, and they haven't been playing well of lately. 2-6 straight up in ATS. You might look at it and say, well, they're going to pack it in. On the other hand, this is their Super Bowl. They've had a bad season. Maybe they can stick it to their rival, end the season on a high note in this forgettable season. On the other side of that same coin is they've been so bad all season long. They picked up bad habits. They don't know how to play together and cohesive. And when things go bad on the court, they just say, well, we've seen this happen all season long. And so they pack it in. For this Arizona State team, it's tough to back them on this 2-6 straight up ATS run. Offense has been terrible. They're also on a 7-1 run under the total, 9-20 straight up record, and they've been money burners all season. 8-21 against the spread, 18-11 under the total, and it's a team that just had things go wrong even before they first took the court. They lost highly touted freshman guard Jahari Carson, who was a top 50 recruit. He was ineligible to play. In addition, they don't have a single senior on the roster. They're a small team. And Herb Sendek was hoping to be able to turn the corner this season. Hasn't been able to do it for the second year in a row. And he's got to finish up against this Arizona team that's just playing terrific on the road. The last 8 road games, 7-1 straight up, 6-2 against the spread. I know that Arizona State, the Sun Devils, want this game, but I don't know if they have the horses to do it, guys.
Yeah, the only thing yeah, go ahead, Chip.
Go ahead, Chip. All right, I was going to say,
the only thing you can do.
Price is the Sun Devils.
Literally, yeah.
They're terrible. They're terrible. I want no part of them. I'd only play the Wildcats in this game. It's the only side I would take.
Yeah, the only way you could take, as you said, John, the only motivation or the only reason to take Arizona State would be that we wouldn't make their season. But I don't have a line yet on it. It's a Sunday game, but it was probably by double digits. Arizona's a young team, but they're much improved from the beginning of the season. The Wildcats won 7 out of the last 8. That loss was at Washington. The 2-point win against UCLA last week should be a big confidence booster because the Arizona has lost a lot of close games this season. But the Arizona State's 9-20. And I don't have a line for it, but I take Arizona or nothing in this game.
Yeah, I agree. If you look back at that first meeting, it wasn't even close. 68-51, Arizona won at home. They were 11-point favorite in that game, went under the total of 127. The thing is, Wildcats did whatever they wanted. They shot 44%. They held the Sun Devils to just 36% shooting. They were up by 14 at the half and up to 24, so they really controlled the game. And when you make 8 of 23 pointers like they did in that game, you can dictate the game inside and out. Okay, let's go through the ads again. Chip, what do you have again for the customers for Saturday and Friday?
Well, we're really on a roll, John, after hitting our Big East Conference Game of the Year on Saturday. We've hit 5 straight Megabuck winners right on through Thursday. And what I'm offering this weekend is my college underdog Game of the Year. College basketball, they don't come any bigger than this. This is a game you'll be able to play the money line on. It's an underdog. You'll be able to play with confidence. The game you can step up with my college underdog Game of the Year Saturday for $19. And included, John, is going to be 2 VIP high rollers, $19. And if you call Friday or before Friday, you'll get my NBA parlay of the month all thrown in. $19, 866-899-9462. I'm on a roll. I've never been hotter, and we have big game winners lined up. The games are all there now. The tournaments are starting. I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, John. We've got all these games out there and a plethora of choices, but I'm locked in with this big-time underdog winner. You'll be able to step out and play with confidence. $19, 899-866. That's 866-899-9462.
That's quite a package, Chip.
Give me a call.
I bet you hear that all the time.
Yes.
Jeff, I understand you have that blockbuster game going on Saturday. Tell the folks about that.
That's my overall college game of the year. Plus, you're going to get 2 more games, all 3 for $19. If you sign up Friday, you're going to get my Friday tournament high roller game as a bonus. Again, all for just $19. Just call 1-866-575-8918. My college game of the year. 1-866-575-8918.
All right, and Jim Feist on Saturday has a pair of Game of the Month plays, a college conference Game of the Month parlay. Plus, it comes with a guarantee from Jim. You will go 2-0, or you get the rest of March on the house. Plus, if you sign up and grab this $20 play for Friday, he's going to throw in Friday's NBA Shocker. Game of the Month as a bonus. Each one of those 3 plays is $20 online. However, if you call Friday, you get all 3 for $20. 1-866-841-1655. All right, guys, that'll do it from here. Thanks for joining us. Good luck with the games, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks, John. Jeff, take care.
Thank you.
See you guys.